to tell us about some of the struggles that nonprofits are experiencing. So you alluded to, funding and how that is a current issue. A lot of the business owners and organizations that come onto our podcast, they have big hearts. They're very generous. They do try to plug in and support nonprofits. So the secondary question, follow up to that, if you have anything to add to the current struggles of nonprofits today, what are some of the ways that you would encourage business owners to support a cause or nonprofit organization, in just given our current environment?
Many ways. We know for a fact that the ability to make up the funding cuts is impossible. It's too big. We can't make it up through philanthropy. We can improve our philanthropic giving, and we're going to get an opportunity to see what that looks like past Big Day of Giving, which takes place May 7th. This podcast will come out after that, but by then we'll have some understanding of what it looks like by comparison to the year prior. But so many organizations have been first significantly adjusting their budgets because of the funding cuts. Not all are dependent on federal grants or even grants in general. Many are local organizations that have done a really good job stewarding the community to the value of that organization. So many of those are in good shape because people recognize the need to step up. And that's been wonderful to see. But when you have really large funded organizations that are dependent on grants that come from the federal government and even the state government at this point, it can be really challenging. So what we're seeing is not everybody has the same issues. The concerns are that the people who give tend to be older, and the older they get, the less likely they're going to live forever. This big wealth transfer comes into play, and those who are receiving that wealth are not as generous. They're not as philanthropic. And it's really incumbent on all of us to figure out what's going on there and how do we demonstrate to them the value of that contribution to the community, and these organizations that serve the community is really an investment, and it's one that they should be making. So that's one part of it. That's the dollars and cents part of it. Not every organization has an issue with money. Some have issues with volunteers. The same thing's happening, as the senior population ages out, the next generation of population is not as willing to give their time to the organizations. And we're seeing that significantly where people are saying, hey, I got all the dough I need. I'm looking for volunteers. I can't get the volunteers. And in some cases, it's a mission understanding and it's a storytelling being appropriate for the people they're trying to get into the organization. But more importantly, it's just the opportunity to get people engaged. And then the last thing, when you talk about businesses, surely they can write a check. Or if they can't write a check, surely they can give a little time. And if both of those are challenging, they have something that runs their business successfully. What is that strength? What is it that they do well that maybe would benefit a nonprofit that could be an in-kind exchange? Because there's nobody that will turn down somebody who's, let's say at this point, IT savvy. I could use your service, your help, and minimize some of that expense. You're construction savvy. I do construction projects. I've got a project going with my nonprofit that needs XYZ. Can you help in that sense? Or just maintenance of a building. You can see all these in-kind opportunities that don't cost any money. They really don't cost much time. You're just using the company services to provide it. And so those are the three ways. It's either the money to write a check, it's the time, the volunteering, and then the third, the ability to engage with whatever that strength is, that thing you do well that an organization could really benefit from.
That's awesome. Thanks for that wonderful breakdown. I've been part of organizations in the past where we go out and we all go and volunteer and support an organization for a day, and it's really cool to see the day-to-day operations and what that looks like. One year we went out to the Sacramento Food Bank, so there's nothing quite like getting your hands dirty, but I think those are other really good considerations.